In my last video, I talked about how to protect your curls on pool days. Now I want to get into rainy days. The weather can be unpredictable, but around April and May, you can usually expect a lot more rain. And here in Texas, it's been raining more than usual lately, so I've had to make some quick adjustments to my routine. Because if you ever stepped outside and your curls immediately lost definition or turned frizzy, you know how fast things can go left. So let's talk about how rain actually affects curly hair and how to prevent a curly hair disaster before stepping outside. One of the most common pieces of advice you'll hear with curly hair is not to wash your hair when it's raining. And there's a reason for that. You're not going to get the same wash and go results you normally would, because curly hair naturally absorbs moisture from the air. So when it's raining or humid outside, your hair is pulling in extra moisture, which can break apart your curl pattern and lead to frizz. Depending on where you live, rain can be unpredictable. Some places get rain for weeks at a time, and others, like here in Texas, you might start the week with heavy rain, then sun, then more rain again. So regardless of the situation, you have to be strategic with your wash days. Personally, I don't like going more than a week without washing my hair, because I get buildup and my scalp gets itchy. But at the same time, rain is not an excuse to be careless with your hair. You still have to be proactive, the same way you would if your hair were straight and you were trying to avoid it reverting. Because once your hair is exposed to rain and humidity, you can end up with frizz, tangles, loss of definition, and even knots if it's not managed properly. So rainy days aren't really about styling. They're about protecting what you already have. So instead of thinking in terms of rules, I want to walk you through what I actually did. Like I mentioned, I don't like skipping wash days. So when it was rainy recently, I went ahead and washed my hair like I normally would. But instead of letting it air dry, I put my hair into two-strand braids, which is one of my go-to styles. I wore my hair like that throughout the week while it was raining, and once the weather cleared up, I took out the braids, separated my curls, and it gave me results very similar to a wash and go. This works really well if your hair can hold braided styles, but if your hair is shorter, you still have options. The main thing is adjusting how you handle moisture, hold, and exposure on rainy days. First, try not to add extra moisture. Refreshing your hair with more water can actually increase frizz in humid conditions. Instead, focus more on hold. This is where gels or mousses with stronger hold can help keep your curls in place. And just as important, try to limit how much of your hair is exposed. That could be braids, a loose bun, a claw clip, or even covering your hair with a hood or an umbrella. If you have the option, try to make sure your hair is fully dry before going outside. And if you need extra protection, you can use something like a satin lined rain cap or even a bonnet depending on your level of comfort. The goal is to reduce how much your hair is exposed to the environment. Now, you can't always plan for the unexpected, especially with the weather. So if you get caught in the rain, don't panic. This happens. And don't immediately try to fix your hair or start a full wash day again just because it feels ruined. One of the best things you can do is just let your hair fully air dry first. Then if needed, you can lightly reshape it or put it into a protective style. Because trying to restyle it while it's still wet can actually lead to more frizz instead of fixing it. And if you do decide to wear your hair up like in a bun or a protective style, just make sure your hair isn't soaking wet underneath. Keeping your hair wet for too long can lead to tangling, dryness over time, and even scalp issues if moisture gets trapped. And one last thing, if you already know it's going to rain, try not to plan your wash day on that day. Your results just won't last as long in high humidity. So that's it. I know this was brief, but I do think it's important to mention. Rain can happen at any time of the year, and sometimes completely unexpectedly. But it's not the end of the world. It just means you have to adjust your routine based on your environment. In the next video in this seasonal series, I'm going to get into beach days, because even though we already covered pool days, there's a lot more to consider when you're at the beach. For a more detailed breakdown on rainy day routines, check out my blog post, which also includes product suggestions. And you can also check out my Pinterest. I'll be posting new pins over the next few months that you could save for future reference. And let me know in the comments what tips you use on rainy days, or what you'd like to see next.